What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Welcome back to Corvette Weekly. This is, of course, the Corvette show that you can come to every Monday night and hang out and talk Corvette stuff. That's what we do. We're all Corvette guys. Every now and then something else will squeak in there, but for the most part, we're talking about Corvettes. And actually, everybody on the screen you see here owns at least one Corvette, and they live and breathe Corvette. So I'm sure I speak for the majority of you guys in the comment section saying that you're probably the same. So really awesome to see you guys in here again. Again, I see almost all green names over in the chat. That's pretty cool. I appreciate that, guys. You are definitely some of the coolest people on the internet. So really appreciate the support every week in and out. But we're going to just kind of dive right into this when we got a lot. Well, we have a pretty good bit of information to talk about tonight and some maybe possibly interesting conversation because of one of the pieces of information. So before we get into that, though, I do want to mention, of course, the sponsor of tonight's video, which is going to be, again, NCM Insurance. As we've mentioned a couple times, if you go to the website here and you go to get a quote up at the top, that's going to allow you to obviously get an insurance quote from them, see if they'll save you any money. But under step 3 or 6, it is, I can't remember, it will ask you where you heard about us. Just put in there HPO 26. It will allow them to know where the traffic is coming from. And like I said, you might save some money. Worst case scenario, you waste a couple minutes of your time. There's no obligation. There's no fee or anything. You put in your information. They come back and tell you how much your car insurance would be. And it might save you some money. But on top of that, it is definitely a different way of insuring your car, especially if you have, the Corvette that only comes out of the garage every weekend when it's nice. They can basically allow you to set kind of a price value on it. So if you were to get into an accident with it, or, the car was reported as a total loss, they would pay that particular amount to you versus what the car shows it's worth on like Kelley Blue Book, like most insurance companies would. So NCM Insurance allows you to set your own value, and a lot of times they're going to end up being cheaper for you in the long run. And I know, again, David has them for his insurance provider on most of his cars, if not all of them. And yeah, David, you could tell him how much money you've saved by doing it this way.
Yeah, I mean it's not even close. Like I'm with USAA for all my other stuff, but I mean it's like 50% less than USAA. The only thing I don't have is my daily drivers because they tier it based on how much you're going to drive it and some of the like garage kept, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's insane. If you have a garage and you keep your car there, you need to at least check them out. Like Justin said, worst case you waste a couple minutes of your time, but they have been better than anything I've used so far, and I have it on all my vehicles at the house other than the daily. So I think I've got 4 or 5 on there, service 5 maybe. So
yeah, that's awesome. So Joey Cuts in the comment section saying that NCM crushed a quote for him, worked a whole agreed price layout. It was great. And that's the big thing with them is that when you call in there, you're talking with Adam Boca, any of their sales reps. They're all great actual car people. So you're talking to somebody who gets it. And usually they're going to get you a better price than what you're paying currently. Plus, you're going to enjoy talking to them. And yeah, it's a win-win. So if you do go to the website, NCM Insurance, get a quote, and just make sure you let them know HPO 26 or somewhere in there, type in that Horsepower Obsessed sent you. It's going to help me out. It helps the channel out. And of course, hopefully it'll end up helping you out. So
yeah, definitely. And now they offer track insurance if you track your car.
Correct. They do offer track insurance as well. I've gotten that question a couple times, and I did actually verify that recently. They do offer track insurance. Now, that, of course, is going to vary in price as well to some degree based on what kind of car it is, how much horsepower, your driving record, blah, 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 blah. So I can't answer how much that would be, but if you reach out to NCM Insurance via that, get a quote, just let them know Horsepower Obsessed sent you. They're going to answer any questions you have for them right then and there. A lot of the subscribers have already done this, reached out and done it. I don't know, David, when you did it, did you do it because you saw it here, or did you do it for another reason?
No, it was funny because when I got a quote from USAA when I knew I was picking up my car at the museum, and I was like, all right, fine, whatever. I guess it is what it is. I've got it, because I've got the multiple discounts for like homeowners and all that stuff through them. And then when I went to the museum, they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we have the museum insurance right here." And I was like, "All right, Corvette insurance." And literally, it
Yeah.
was just completely just a weird coincidence that. And I was like, "All right," and I checked it. And I was like, "Wow, it was a big difference." And that was the first car I put on. And then I called about the truck, and then my Challenger, and then my Mustang, and then when I bought my 2012, of course, I was already going to use them anyway, but they put them all on it. They killed it on all of them. And then like when I was looking for cars last year, anytime I look for a car, I call them up and I'm like, "Hey, can you run me a quote on this VIN?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And then I call them back. They're like, "Did you buy that car?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Check another one." So they are really cool people, and they are all call people. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I talked
yeah.
to Adam down there at the bash, I mean, I could literally stand there and talk to him for hours because
Oh yeah.
he seems like he knows everything about everything. It's really cool. So anyway, guys, again, NCM Insurance, check them out. Let them know Horsepower Obsessed sent you. You might save some money. That's ultimately
And
that.
they're right there at the museum. They do
Right.
know Corvettes. Like when I called about the quote on my Centennial, the lady was like, "Congratulations, that's a really nice car."
Yeah, she actually knows
She
what it
knows what
is.
I'm
So
talking
that's awesome.
about.
Yeah.
And the agreed value is also huge for me.
Nice. So Kevin he says he just bought the Solar 92 millimeter ported throttle bodies, getting them installed this Friday. We'll make sure they run 3 minutes on. And yeah, that's the big thing,
Yep.
Kevin, because the people out there that
Yep.
aren't doing it are having trouble with the car showing no extra power. So you got to do it right. But I proved that if you do it right, it does not only add power, but it adds an incredible amount of power. So Kevin, hopefully when you order those, you use the HPO5 code. That's always a good way to save some money on those things. But with that said, that's a great segue to me bringing Joe on. You guys know Joeler. He's here to talk to us a little bit about our Criswell partnership, the car show coming up, and all kinds of good stuff. So, Joe, if you want to take it away.
Sure. Hello, Justin, David, and
Hey, what's up?
all. Justin, if I told you we were 6 days away, that's right, just 6 days away from the June 7th inaugural HPO Griswold car meet, that would be true. Two addresses that I want you all to know about is obviously Griswold Chevrolet, where we'll all be sort of meeting and hanging out from 12 to 4, checking out one another's cars and certainly checking out all the brand new Corvettes that they will have on their lot. Stingrays, there'll be Z51 trim levels, Z06s. There'll be some, hopefully, ZR1s for us to check out as well, and maybe even a ZR1X. Reminder, Gaithersburg, Maryland is where they are located. The actual address is 503 Quincy Orchard Road. And another key address for you all is the Dogfish Head Ale House. That address is right down the road at 800 West Diamond Ave. So for those of you that have secured your VIP spot, you've been notified. You all should arrive by about 11:45 at the front entrance. We'll escort you in over to your spots. The balance, there is plenty of room, as I just mentioned, at the Dogfish Head Ale House. It's a short walk away, so we'll have plenty of parking there as well. It'll be well organized, and as I said, it's going to be an awesome day. We also do have an optional planned lunch for anybody that wants to grab a bite with Justin, myself, and whoever else from Griswold will be able to join us. Hopefully they'll be so busy selling cars with you all that they might not be able to break away, but I'm sure we can twist their arm. That will be at approximately 1:30. It will be, your BYOB, buy your own bill. So if you come with friends and buddies, we're looking to have a great time. So we also are going to have two featured exclusively priced vehicles that day. One will be a Z06 and one will be a Stingray, and they will be the best available price that they are offering anywhere. So another reason to make sure you can join us in spite of all the fun we're going to have. I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm really excited to see as many of you that will be attending there. I will have my Seawolf Z06, and I know there's others, including obviously Justin, that will be there. Come one, come all colors, all trims, all Corvettes, and even if you don't have a Corvette, you're certainly welcome. Thanks, everybody. See you soon, and have a good show.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, guys. So, like you heard there from Joe, one thing I did want to point out real quick, though, is that we've had almost 500 people respond to this show. So, 500. There is a good chance we're going to end up with at least a couple hundred cars here. So, it's going to be a pretty big show, most likely. If you guys want to come out, it would be really cool to see you there. Like Joe said, we're going to have at least 2 cars on the lot that are going to be priced very special for this show. They're going to be money, a good bit of money off, even more so than what we showed throughout the Monday nights. So it's going to be a special price, HPO car meet price thing. It's going to be special. So if you guys are looking for a new car, or even if you're not, you might be tempted by how good these prices are. So anyway, like I said, almost 500 people have responded. Make sure you're coming down. At this point, all of the VIP spots are gone. So you're not going to park in the VIP section, which really doesn't mean a whole lot. It's just you got a free t-shirt. So if you didn't make that, it's not a huge deal. I'd still like to see you there, but either way, it would be nice to see as many of you there as possible. So I did get a couple questions here I wanted to touch on real quick.
The one I saw, Kevin Horan. So he asked if the 92s make sense if you've got the 91s. If you like bling and you want to have the upgrade for the looks, and you are going to make a little bit more power.
Yeah.
But don't buy the 92s thinking
Just
it's going to
for
be
it,
a
yeah.
massive step up for the
Right.
91. Don't buy it just for that. But they do look, in my opinion, look way better than the 91s because they're billet. But again, it wouldn't. Again, if that extra little bit of power, if that's what you think you're going to get, it's not worth it. If you want the look, the billet, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they come anodized black if you want them to.
Based on the numbers that David got with the 91s, and I know this is not going to be an apples to apples comparison, but based on his numbers versus what the numbers I got, you're looking at roughly 7-ish more horsepower. So not earth shattering by any means, but if you want the look, which to be honest with you, I even said it in the video, the biggest reason I made the jump from 91s to 92s is because of the look. I thought they looked cool. Right. But when I saw that they actually produce more horsepower, that's great. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Even if they made the exact same horsepower, I wouldn't put them up just because they look so dang good. Like I love the way they look. They're awesome.
So yeah, Kevin Horan says make sure you get the bolts for the 92s because the 91s. Actually no, the 91s don't have smaller bolts. It's the other way around. The head on the 92s is like an Allen head versus more of a I think it's a 10 millimeter head on the stock bolts. So it's got to be a little bit of a smaller head because of how big the throttle bodies are to get the bolts to go through the holes. They have to have a smaller head. So they do come with the screws, and they also come with a new bracket that holds the throttle body electrical connector up off of the transmission. It will come with all that stuff, unless you're Seawolf Z06, then it might not. But either way, he got taken care of. Apparently his didn't ship with it, but they shipped him separately. Right. So
yeah, good.
Yeah, and this is a great point. Bill says, after all, Justin, you are horsepower obsessed. Like, you can't just leave the 91s on there if there's 7 horsepower on the table. What do you think this is? Horsepower interested? No. Obsessed.
And if you're exactly, and if you're gonna min-max something, if you are in the business of min-maxing, then yeah, absolutely, it's gonna make some more power. You know, it really is. But the look alone is worth, in my opinion, is worth it. And if you don't have either one, then if you're gonna buy the 91s or the 92s, I mean, the billet is way better. Like if you don't have a set, the 92s are way worth it.
And the thing that Anthony George just said, this is also true. You just might not be able to sleep knowing that there's 92s out there when you have 91s in your car. That, as sad as that sounds, honestly, that really is a thing. 100%.
Honestly, as vain as we are as car guys, I swear to God, the first time you see a set on somebody's car in person, you're gonna be like, damn, I should have got the 92s. 100%.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, price slashing extravaganza. Ricky says he wishes he wasn't 8 hours away. I'll tell you what, man. If your foot's to the floor, it's not quite 8 hours. Just so you know, you should come. Fast. I'd love to see you guys there. It's gonna be an interesting meet. And I'll be honest, if this goes as well as we plan, it's gonna be at least a 2-time-a-year thing. So this is gonna be something that's gonna happen pretty regular. And
we'll be doing a car show / drag strip day and all that stuff. That'll be, so you guys will get a chance to come do that, and you can run down the track.
And actually, that event that David and I are planning, Ricky, will be a little bit closer for you. So you'll have no excuse then. Plus, you're going to be in an E-Ray on a drag strip, so you can come down there and tell me to shut up about the Z06 stuff.
Hey, Ricky will send it, dude. When it was just me and him on the track at NCM, Ricky will send it. I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, horsepower curious, horsepower adjacent. Like no. We're obsessed here.
Horsepower fluid.
Yeah. Oof. Nah.
No.
Z06 Steve says, thank you, Justin. Expel PPF saved my windshield today. Blackout 2025 customer. Heck yeah. You did a short of my car, Sebring Orange. Yeah, I remember that car. I remember almost every Corvette. As weird as this sounds, because all I really do is Corvettes, I remember, especially when I go to Blackout, it's very hard for me to forget a Corvette. Now, I will forget names, but I will remember exactly what color your car is. So that's the way to do it, really.
That's how car guys are, because you'd be talking, you'd be like, oh yeah, the guy with the blah 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 blah. Yeah, that dude. Like
the guy with the black C606 with a cam and a tune and long tube headers. Yeah. Meanwhile, you can't remember one simple name. Kevin says throttle bodies are going to be the new thing. Please let me know when the 92mm X are coming out. Yeah. No, and I mean it's funny because that's kind of where the whole thing went after the 92s came out after the 91s. Because everybody was like, oh, next is going to be the 93s. 92 is literally the biggest that can be run on the Z06, on the C8 Z06, I should say. Now, with that said, I'm about to put a gigantic one on my C7 ZR1. It is way bigger than 92. So it depends on the car you have. But the C8 Z06, 92 is physically the biggest one that will fit on that intake. Unless they come out with an aftermarket intake manifold, which I guess it's not completely absurd, but it's not very likely either. But if they did that, then maybe you'd get bigger throttle bodies. But
yeah, the only way I see an aftermarket manifold coming for that car, because it has the pulsing back and forth, is if somebody's doing it for turbo cars. That's the only way I see that, because then you can just take that out because you're blasting boost into the cylinders.
Yeah.
So you don't.
So Sean says he's going to call me on my story here that I never forget a Corvette color. He says, so what was my color combination again, Justin? Sean, you got to understand, man. You have the color combination that I will never forget. So even if I was over here forgetting color combinations, yours is not going to be one of them. So he has a competition yellow car with a habanero interior.
Oh yeah, I'd never forget that. Come on, Sean.
And the competition is stealth wrapped. We did it at my shop in Florida. So yellow stealth, which is actually a really nice. That looks cool. Yellow looks good with stealth. It does. Yeah. So there's no way we forget that, Sean.
Yeah, surprisingly, Sebring Orange does too. I saw a 2019 ZR1. That was stealth wrapped. Yep. That looked.
Was that at Carlisle?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that was Star then, probably, right?
Yeah, it was Star. Yep.
Anything with metallic, especially, looks good stealth wrapped.
Yep.
All right, so Captain says, do you guys recommend the solar throttle controller? Yes, we do. 100%. That is on.
Absolutely.
That's on my C8 Z06 and on my Ram TRX. The only thing I would tell you, and some people disagree with me on it. Actually, this guy right here will disagree with me on it. I don't love it on a manual transmission car. But David does. So that's a preference thing more if I had to guess, but on an automatic, it's a no-brainer. 100% you put that throttle controller on there and you're going to love it.
Yeah, I just like it because when I heel toe and I just slide my foot to blip the throttle, it's just a lot faster. That's all. It's just it's a quicker blip and it makes it easier to heel toe downshift. But yeah, like Justin, that's the best mod for money. There. Yeah, and that's honestly the best mod for your money like you're ever gonna buy for a couple $100. I mean, I have it for my C8, my C6, my Dodge Challenger, and then I have one for my F-150. So I have one other thing. If it's drive-by-wire, it's got one in my house.
Okay, so beep, 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 beep. This just in, Joler informs me that we have one more VIP spot. Whoever emails me first gets it. So if you guys haven't RSVP'd, I guess, to this show or this meet that we're having at Criswell, first one to email me, you're going to get a VIP spot. So even if you've decided you're coming, and you don't have a VIP spot, Joe just told me someone that had one backed out, so we have one additional spot available. So first one that emails me, and it will be time stamped in my email, so whoever emails first is the one that gets it. Do not miss this, guys. It'd be awesome to see you there.
Yeah, don't miss that. Yeah, Riptide is the same thing. So when I had one of my truck, one of my buddies, he was at the bash. His name's Dean. He lives local. He experienced it just in the truck because I took my truck up, and he went and bought one for his pickup too. Then so they're the best thing ever, and it takes like 10 minutes to install. It's like the easiest mod.
It's
ever.
10 minutes if you're videoing it. If you're not, it's like 25 seconds.
Exactly. And then it completely changes.
It does.
Car Plus.
Yep.
We've said it before, like you can lock your car. It's basically an anti-theft. You can lock the car, so you can lock the throttle signal. And if your insurance does it, you get a discount on it. And CM does as well. They give me a discount for my cars that are that have the solar on them.
Yep. And again, guys, if you're looking to get any solar products, whether it's throttle body, throttle controller, anything off Solar's website, even if it's not Corvette related, use the code HPO5, save yourself some money. So HPO5 will save you money off of either one of those products. And the throttle controller has, and I think the throttle bodies do too, 30-day, no questions asked, money back return. So if you buy that throttle controller and you don't like it, you send it back. They're not even going to ask you why. They're just going to refund your money.
Well, and I love how Joe's like, we've never had one come back. Like, that's the best part of all of it. Like, they've been selling them for how long for all those vehicles?
It's because everybody who plugs that thing in is immediately going to be like, yes, this makes sense.
Yes. It changes everything. That's the best.
Captain says it does not get stamped into the ECU right. Once you unplug it, it can't be traced. Correct. So if you're worried about warranty, it is the easiest thing to install and probably even easier to uninstall if you're going to the dealership and you don't want them to see it. So absolutely fine.
And they wouldn't even know anyway.
Yeah, if you install it the way that I did with running the wire behind the carpet and stuff, they literally won't even see it. And even if they plugged something into your car and scanned it, I highly doubt that would pop up on anything.
Nope, it won't.
Yeah, Ricky, I was thinking that same thing.
Light,
he says,
well, the only way you'll get a check engine light if you're a dummy and don't disconnect your battery is me.
Yeah, like I said in the 92 millimeter ported throttle video, anytime you're installing anything that has anything to do with electronics on these cars, you should unplug the battery. And I know that's not always convenient. I get it. But you should do it. If you're not going to be able to do that, unlock the car, leave the door open for about 10 minutes and make sure your key's really far away. And then that's kind of the same thing with as far as disconnecting the battery is concerned.
Well, it is. And the reason being is anytime you get that key fob near the car and the car senses it because you've done something around the car, it will fire up. Yeah. It will fire up some of the systems. And if like you have your throttle bodies unplugged or your throttle controller unplugged or anything like that, it'll throw a code.
Yep. Guys, if you could please smash the thumbs up button. We got over 100 people in here watching and only 40 thumbs ups. That makes me sad. So seriously, if you could please smash the thumbs up button, it helps a lot. Ricky said that it took him longer to hide the wire than to install the controller. That's 100% me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I didn't know how I wanted to run the wire at first, so I just let it sit there. But then when I went back, you're right. It took me way longer to hide the wire than it did to actually do it.
And this is a good point, too, from Sean. He says, even if you don't like the throttle controller, if you get it, plug it in, and you don't like the way it makes the throttle a little more sensitive, you can set it on OEM and still have it operate normally, but you'll still have access to that ability to lock out the throttle for the security purpose. So even if you're not technically using it, it still is a benefit. And again, HPO5, guys, will save you money off of anything on Solar Performance's website. And no, this show is not sponsored at this point by Solar Performance. I just believe in the product that much. At this point, I've done so much work with them. And after that latest video of putting those 92s on a stock car and seeing the amount of power that those things made, it is impossible to not believe in these products.
Oh, literally every variation of ported throttle body that currently exists, including competitor brands, I have tested on the dyno and they all make power. Varying degrees, good weather, bad weather, it changes with the weather, but they all make power, guys. Don't believe that they don't. And somebody earlier asked about any mod that would it help for the resetting or driving or whatever. Your long-term fuel temps will eventually reset no matter what your mod you put on your car, but to feel that right away, you can reset those. But if you add headers, if you add, cold air intake, if you add if your long-term fuel trims will adjust over time. That's why they're called long-term fuel trims.
So Wheeler says in the middle of his Sport Cat install and getting those two T30s behind the stock airbox is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That, I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for those two bolts, I could have the
Yep.
stock intake out and the Eventuri intake in probably 10 minutes. But those two bolts
So-
add an extra 35 to 40 minutes to the install just because of how hard they are to get to. Hey.
So little known fact, like when I took the factory airbox out, got my inventory ready because I've tested so many of the other ones that I would do any other aftermarket airbox, any of them, on and off my car in a day, no big try. I don't care, whatever. That factory one, getting initially to those bolts, like you said, they are the worst ever. Wheeler, I feel for you, brother. They're terrible.
Yep. Once you, me and Dana, when we're doing Eventuri intake installs, we kind of have it down to a science. And when I say we, I really mean him, because I will do the entire install except for those two bolts, and I have him do it because he's got it to the point where he snakes it down in there and he gets it in maybe 10 minutes per bolt, and it would take me an hour. So he's figured out those bolts, and I've got it. I told him, I said, you get those two bolts, I will literally do the rest of the install. I'll remove the rest of the stock intake. I'll put the entire Eventuri in. We're good. But he gets those two bolts.
And Wheeler then mentioned the one that's the other one, in my opinion, that's the worst one, is that underside 15 millimeter on the factory cats, especially on the driver's side.
Yeah.
The biggest thing, too, is have a long extension, and then at the end, the universal, and then you're that's the best way, but other than that, it still sucks.
The problem I ran into, and this I don't know if you're doing this by yourself, Wheeler, or not, but the problem I ran into when I was taking it apart by myself, I was just taking them apart, was that when you have a universal on the end, you kind of need two hands. You need one hand on the impact and one hand on that universal to make sure it stays on.
Yeah.
And then if you do that, you don't have another hand to put a wrench on the nut on the other side. And I was like, I need another person. There's just no way around it.
Well, and recently I've been seeing, and I ordered one because I figured out those the bendy extension for your thing. I ordered one because it kept popping up on my Instagram and stuff. That's another one. If you get one of those, that'll hold enough torque on it that you can actually break that one loose. So It's actually a good tool.
So yeah, Z06 Hot Rod Todd is correct. They only make the throttle controllers for the C6 and up. The C5, C4s.
It has to be drive-by-wire.
Yeah, those are not available. So
correct.
Interesting that someone in here has a C4 though. Who was that asked that question? If you have a C4, raise your hand.
Yep.
Captain said he had such a hard time getting the Eventuri set in where it needs to be for some reason. The very first time I installed it, I did too, but I've installed so many of those things. I know David has too. I literally can get it first shot, and I can actually do it. I can put it in now where the two rubber couplers are already installed, and I can get the intake in there. That way I don't have to fumble with them afterwards. You get efficient at those things when you do as many as I have.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, doing the airbox on a hardtop convertible adds about 2 hours. Doing half an open and close the trunk and the tonneau. I don't know if it's 2 hours, but it definitely adds some frustration. There's no doubt, because it's like you got to open the tonneau
up, down
for 2 seconds to release a bolt, and then you got to close it and open up the trunk, and then it's like probably 10 to 15 times up and down like that.
That's awesome.
Oh, Mean Pearson says 93 C. Oh, ZR1 too. Nice.
Nice.
KP has a C4 ZR1 as well. Awesome.
I love those C4 ZR1s.
Yeah, and he says, KP says, with the hyphen. It's interesting because that was the only ZR1 that kept that hyphen. The rest of them dropped it. It was that's a good point. Oh yeah, ZR1 Mark says he did his himself and learned to speak in tongues. My neighbors, your neighbors probably think you're crazy, right? All right, guys, if you can, like I said, please smash that thumbs up button. Really helps out the channel. We got, again, over 100 people in here watching. We should easily have 100 thumbs ups. Would be really cool. Ricky says it took him 5 hours to install his intake. The first time I did it, it was probably about 3 to 4 hours. Yeah. Now we can do it, and if it's me and Dana going at it, we have it done in less than an hour. And actually, probably that's if I'm filming it. If it's not being filmed, it's probably like 40 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, once you've done it, but like you said, you get to the point where you don't even. Because I remember the first time I like put it in this way and then went it in this way and then
Right.
pulled it back and
Yeah.
then was trying to get it. Now it's just like you kind of have that one angle and you,
Yeah.
boop, and
Yeah,
it just
you know
goes right
exactly where it
in.
goes, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about some information here. First, I want to check this. So right now, the weather for Gaithersburg, Maryland, is showing no rain and a possibility, 10% chance at 3 o'clock and on. So the show starts at 12. So if you get there at 12, you still would be able to probably make it home before rain, even if it does rain at all. But with that low percentage, it's probably not going to rain. So that's a great thing. That means the show at Criswell is going to be a very nice turnout. Odds are good we're going to get a lot of cars in there, and it looks like it's probably not going to rain. So we'll know a little bit better probably Wednesday, Thursday of this week. It'll be more accurate. But again, I hope to see all you guys there. I'd love to see some of these C401s we're talking about. I know, Mean Peterson, I think you come from California. I know it was somewhere out west, if I remember right. But either way, it'd be cool to see you there with the car. That'd be a long drive in a C4, though, I bet.
Yeah.
Yes, so constraints have changed again. That's going to be something we're going to talk about. And I probably did just jinx it. But I'll tell you what, Ricky, I'm going to have my umbrellas for sale. That helped at the bash. It did not rain at the bash. So because of those umbrellas.
That's the first time in years. I think the previous 3 years.
Yeah, every year I've been there, it has rained except for this past year. So
it rained overnight, but it didn't rain during the bash. But
Yep. At one point, it started to rain at 5:30. And I was like, hey, bash is over at 5. I'm good.
That's right. That was when Ricky and I were on the track, and we were like, oh, please hold off. Please hold off.
Exactly.
Just me and I together, and that was it. And I was like, please don't rain. This is like optimum experience here. Please don't rain.
Exactly. MGM says, bring HPO fingers and umbrellas. Umbrellas equal no rain. I will bring both because that's the only way you can buy those. If you guys want to get those, you have to buy them at a show because I'm not going to ship those. I have 2 people who have already bought that I'm assuming I'll either see at the Criswell show or at Carlisle. Either way, I'll bring the foam fingers and the umbrellas. Yeah, who is going to the Criswell show? Raise your hand if you're going. And if you have not signed up for a VIP spot yet, we have one spot available now. So first person to email me, and I should probably check to see if anybody has yet. No one's emailed yet. So that spot's still up for grabs. Whoever wants to get that spot, first one to shoot me a message is the one that's going to get it.
Wheeler's got me dying about these cats.
Constraint on patience, yeah.
Let me tell you.
All right, so let me talk about where are we going to start here? We'll start small because I came across this picture the other day on Facebook and I thought this is the best representation I have seen yet of the difference between GM carbon fiber and aftermarket carbon fiber. So quality wise, I do like GM's carbon fiber. What I don't like is how brown or yellow it gets. I've talked about this 100 times, and most of the time, if I had to guess, most of you guys don't fully understand what it is I'm talking about, or you try to maybe mentally lessen how much of a problem it actually is. But this picture put it into such great physical representation that there's no way you can look at this and be like, oh, I don't see it. So on the left is the OEM C8 Corvette Z06 carbon fiber parts. And on the right is aftermarket. Now, when I say aftermarket, they're higher quality aftermarket carbon parts. But check this out. Look at the difference in the color of this carbon fiber.
Oh, goodness.
It's not even a contest. And I mean, this is how it looks on your car. If you go out there, if you have those parts on your car and you look at those parts right now, yours look just like those ones on the left if they're OEM. When they're on the car, and I've done this myself with my C701, when they're on the car and you see it by itself, you don't really realize just how yellow they are until you do this kind of comparison next to a set that is not yellow. Then you're like, holy crap, that is really brown/yellow.
Or you change that first piece and then you're like, dang, now I got to change it all.
Now you got to change it all because none of it matches, and it makes the yellow stuff look really bad. Yeah, Bill says they look pre-burned. They do. Like, it literally looks like there is a problem, and it's not even a problem. This is the UV gel coat that GM uses. They do this on purpose. And there's only one reason they would do this that I can think of, and it's because they don't want you matching aftermarket carbon pieces to their carbon parts. They want everybody to know what's stock and what's not. So really, really an interesting decision, we'll say, because that is awful. And I see it on my ZR1. When the ZR1's by itself, it looks okay. But when it's next to my C6 or my C8 Z06, the difference in carbon color is as plain as day. It's that obvious right there. It's unfortunate, but I wanted to show this picture because it is really, really that obvious. Yeah. So again, if you have stock, you have the stuff on the left. If you have aftermarket, you have the color on the right. And if you didn't know any better, just look at this picture. You're going to immediately think the stuff on the left is way worse quality, when in reality, the quality of the carbon's not bad. It's just whatever UV coating they're using is awful. And the best part is,
like you said, if you have one car and you don't have carbon fiber on another car, whatever else, like
you'll never notice.
Even,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you park beside somebody that has
exactly.
But the other thing that's kind of interesting about this is whatever they use on these parts, they don't use that on the interior carbon fiber parts, because the interior carbon fiber parts are not brown. They are gray. And those are both, quote unquote, made by GM. They're both carbon parts by the OEM, but the interior ones do not have this same coating in them. So it's really crazy that they do it this way.
Yeah, it's just because, like you said, it's the UV coating they use, because they don't UV coat the interior stuff.
Yeah, I would imagine that that's the case. But I wanted to show that when I saw that picture, because that's like the best picture I've seen that demonstrates exactly what it is I'm always talking about with this stuff.
And some aside like that, it's such a big difference. Like it really is. Good to look.
RSC all the way. I agree. RSC's products always top notch. Guys, we got 63 thumbs ups. Let's rock some more thumbs ups. We got some more information to talk about. We're going to talk about constraints tonight. Why these constraints are kind of interesting this time around. What else do we got on the docket here? We got some quality control issues going on at Chevy. And a really fast
motorcycle. Somebody driving a ZR1?
No, that was a motorcycle outside of my house.
I know. Run to the garage. Justin runs off screen.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, some quality control issues. And just like the thumbnail suggests, there was a lot of ZR1s and ZR1Xs pumped out from the Bowling Green plant last week. And it kind of gives hope that maybe they're ramping up production on these things, because, some of us would like to get a ZR1 or a ZR1X. Right. But anyway, we're going to talk about that in a second. Joey Cuts says he thumbs ups from both of his accounts, and this is why we like Joey Cuts, because he's doing it right. I appreciate that, Joey. This guy named DBM Racing says, let's get those thumbs ups, HPO family.
Do it.
He must be new to the channel. I've never heard of him before.
Never met that guy.
Yeah, Professor says, what's up with the ZR1X allocations? We're going to talk about that. That's another interesting one. Let's just jump into the ZR1 and ZR1X being built the last week. So there's hope, says this title on Mid-Edge Corvette Forum. 80 ZR1s and 20 ZR1Xs built last week. That's a pretty great number. At 80 in a week, I'm good with that. 20 for the ZR1X, that's pretty solid too, because they've been building basically none. Now, with that said, we're going to talk about some constraints here in a second that's going to kind of crush this hope for the ZR1X, but at least the ZR1s are showing some promise. It looks like we might actually get some more ZR1s for 2027. And we should, considering the price is increased by, I think, almost $15,000. And at the bash, I think it was Hot Rod Todd actually asked Josh Holder if the increase was because of price increases on parts or just because they wanted to pad their pockets. And surprisingly, he answered truthfully and said it was because they wanted to pad their pockets. I can't believe that he actually said that, but the fact that they're willing to admit that an extra 15 grand in their pocket for a ZR1, why wouldn't they build more? So definitely interesting that many cars have been pumped out. I like to see it because obviously these cars are awesome and everybody should get to enjoy them without having to pay 400 grand for it. But
Right. Well, and an interesting thing. So I talked to Shane, my engine builder, Shane Parker. I talked to him the last time we talked after the bash, and he said they had upped their whatever they call it, their quota, their goal, whatever for the week. They wanted to do 50 LT7s a week from the Performance Build Center for them, talking about upcoming production. So they were trying to crank out 50 plus engines from them a week. So that tells you, I mean, that's a lot of LT7 sitting around waiting to be, put in a car. So,
yep. Kevin asks if I'm in my new house yet. No, we're not, but we are hoping for a close date here very soon. So when that day comes, you guys will 100% know because this background will be completely different. So
I've
it
already
should be
picked out
very
my
soon.
guest room.
Dude, we got a room for you.
I know, I've already picked it out, bro. But let me answer Wheeler's question real quick, bro. So yeah, when you're talking about mods on all these cars, right? The manufacturer's gonna quote you 40 for this, 20 for this, 15 for this, whatever. You will see that individually if you install just that mod. When you start
Yep.
stacking all these mods on top of each other,
Yeah,
you
it
get a
doesn't stack.
diminishing
Yep.
returns effect. It doesn't. It's not 15 plus 40 plus
Yep.
50, but you will get a Q. You will make more power with the mods. I don't care if you already have everything except for this one mod. You will make mods, but the cumulative effect, there is a diminishing returns to a certain point on these mods. So just
Yep.
keep that in mind if you are dyno testing your car, that you're still going to make power, but it's not as big bang for your buck as that first mod where you just put it on. Boom. That's the best mod. The
So
first one or two.
that's I tried to put this in words on my dyno for my headers,
Right, you
with
did.
the Concept 841, because I was told those will make 10 to 15 horsepower by themselves. When I put them on my
Right.
car, I noted 5 horsepower and 7 torque. Now, to be honest with you, I did it strictly for the sound. Any power
Right.
addition is very welcome, of course, but I did it for the sound. So if you do that on a stock car, you're going to pick up 10 to 15 horsepower, and that's great from a set of headers without a tune.
Right.
And that's another thing, is that yes, you put on a set of these 92 millimeter ported throttle bodies from Solar, you're going to pick up 22 horsepower, which is incredible for the price of those things. And if that's the only mod you ever do, that's fantastic. That's a great horsepower to cost ratio. But
Right.
if you're going full tilt like I am, as David said, every mod you do is going to show less and less and less, but it's still picking up power. And when you go to tune the car, it is going to pick up even more power because of all those mods combined. So
That's right.
Non-tuned, you are going to see diminishing returns on power, but if you do tune it, you're going to pick up a lot of that diminished return on power right then with the tunes.
Right. And I commented on your video on that you are going to see diminishing, but where these things are going to shine when you're full bolt on like that is when you unlock the ECU and tune. Whether you do 93, 85, whatever you choose to do, the tune is going to maximize the potential for all of those mods.
Yep.
But you will see diminishing returns. And like Justin said, I mean, Venturi, there's 2,800 bucks right there. But I mean, for the throttle bodies, I mean, to get what you get out of them, a throttle bodies and controller are going to set you back, like 1,200, 1,400, depending on which model you buy. You're going to change the complete experience of the car and pick up 20 something wheel horsepower. No brainer.
I was going to say, in the video, whenever I installed those, I took the car, I had to drive it to back to the owner. And the second I pulled out of my driveway, I was like, I gotta film this because I can feel the difference. I can 100% feel the throttle was more responsive. The car just felt like it was alive. And it's weird to use those words. I know, trust me, it sounds weird, but I could tell. And 22 horsepower, it's not nothing, but it isn't a ton either. It's like to feel 22 horsepower on a 670 horsepower car, I could feel it. It's that simple. 100%. I knew it was there.
Exactly. But part of that too is not just the power, it's the way it changes the tip in and the power curve and the throttle. So on those throttle bodies, you get, and I think Joe, like that's one of his big points too, is like it's not just the horsepower.
Yeah.
It does change your tip in and your throttle response. It really makes a big difference. It really does. So,
Yep.
But hey, General Lee, what's up, dude?
General, how goes it? Justin, what's up?
Yeah,
It's
that's probably the
JC.
safe.
What's going on,
Yep.
JC? He says, how are you guys doing? Is there any way you could find out? This is a great question, by the way, and unfortunately the answer is no to this. Is there any way you guys could find out if Corvette is doing one of those new AI sensors that they're supposed to be putting in all 2027 cars? I have dug and dug and dug, and I cannot find anything saying whether or not that's going to happen on a Corvette. And I can't really even find anything that specifically says for 100% fact that it's going to happen on every 2027 versus only certain cars sold in certain states, stuff like that. Because
Right.
even if your car does have it, it doesn't mean it's activated for sale in your state, stuff like that. We're still in the infancy of this. Don't get me wrong. I think this is an awful idea. And that tells me that because it's an awful idea, it will probably be limited to California. But I don't know that for a fact yet. So let's wait a little more and see. As soon as I know the answer to that, though, I'll be making a video of it and all kinds of stuff because I want to make sure all of you guys know exactly how to rip that thing out.
Yep, exactly. That would have been a nice one if that stuff would have been around. We could have asked Holder and those guys at the badge or Kurt or somebody like that. But
yeah, and I did know about that. I should have asked that. It didn't even occur to me.
They probably wouldn't have said anything anyway because
they're
not going to be a very popular.
No, it's not going to be a popular answer,
No.
right?
No.
Smack Z28 says, "Made it to the live. What's up, man? Thanks for spending some time with us.
Welcome.
If you haven't yet, smash the thumbs up button. It helps us." Chris Hughes says, "Where can I get a Z06 at sticker?" Chris, I know exactly where you can get that.
You can get them less than sticker.
Yeah, less than sticker. And honestly, at our event that we're having this Sunday coming up at the Criswell dealership in Maryland, there's going to be at least 2 cars. At least one of them is a Z06 that will be well under sticker, and it's brand new. So if you want more information, Chris, shoot me an email. It's just horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. I will get you in touch with the right people. Make sure you get the best possible price on these cars because if you go through me first, you do get additional money off of some of the select cars at Criswell. So shoot me an email and I'll make sure you get the best possible price.
Yeah, you can get them under sticker now, but like big time.
So Engineered Insanity, as weird as this sounds, I actually contemplated this. He says he feels like I should green screen in the new house so I can keep the same background and basically people wouldn't even know I moved. That's actually not a bad idea. I thought about that. And the only reason I don't want to do that is because honestly, I'm ready to change this up. I don't want it to necessarily be the same thing all the time.
And I'm actually like, just honestly, I'm looking forward to the new setup. Not because I don't like your setup, but I'm really, really excited to see the room and the color and the background and how you change it all. Because now you'll have, more to work with. It'll be,
it's a blank
and you're
canvas.
also going to be like excited again because you're going to be like fresh canvas.
Yep.
I got a new house. Like boom.
That's how I feel about setting up the garage too. It's like,
oh,
I can't wait to get in there and just put some paint on the walls because it's like that sounds dumb, but as soon as that thing's painted the way I want it to be, and then the floor is done, the cabinets are done.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Do you think prominent princes? Anthony George, I love the way you think, man. He says, "Do we need to have an HPO meetup to help Justin move? I think the Z06 can hold a couple boxes." It would be interesting. It would be interesting to see if I had people meet up to help me move, how many showed up. Because then I would know how many of you guys are real friends. You know what I mean? You ask a guy to help you move. Exactly right. That's how you know who your real friends are. Yep.
That's right. Well, and again, the garage would be a good setup for that. I mean, because cabinets, tools, all that stuff. That stuff's a pain in the butt. It's all heavy. At least you're only going down the road though, so that does help some.
Yep, it is, and that's the thing. Is like a lot of the stuff that we have here, we're gonna end up just throwing it away versus moving it. But some of the stuff, like everything in the garage, it's going, and of course, everything in the garage is super heavy. So Yeah.
Right. Well, and the thing with what you're talking about too, like when you're moving that short distance or whatever on that, like you're going to be still fixing up and finishing the house you're in now, and then putting it on the market. So you've got some time too, where you have that cushion where it doesn't have to
Yeah,
be, oh my
exactly.
God, Tuesday I have to move. So
Right.
you're going to be doing it for like 23 out of 24 hours.
Right. I'm over that. I'm done with that kind of stuff.
Heck yeah.
Lego says, do you still have to own a ZR1 for 6 months before selling it or lose the warranty? Yes, that is still a thing.
Yes.
It is still listed on their website that it is still a thing. And actually, I thought that was a year. Let me see if it still is. Because it was when it first came out, they had increased it from 6 months to a year.
Right.
And
but it is definitely still a thing.
It is on their builder website here. Let me get to it. I think it's right here. View all features. Warranty.
Engineered insanity. He said he volunteered to come break in your bathroom. He's going to drop a heater.
What the heck? That's pretty gross, dude.
That's hilarious.
Actually, I'm not seeing it now. I wonder if they did change it.
No, I just saw one that was on. I literally just saw one that was on Bring a Trailer, that was brand new, and it said that it will avoid your. It's not coming. It'll avoid your warranty. Like literally, it's brand new.
Huh? It's not. I don't see it on the website now. It used to be on here, unless I'm looking in the wrong spot. Let me check under here.
I thought it was 6 months for the Z06 and a year for the Z01 and the X.
No, I know they dropped it on the Z06.
Yeah,
the Z06 is.
I think it's still a year.
If it's still a thing, period, it's got to still be a year. I don't know why they would have changed it at all. But I'm not seeing it now. It used to be right on the main page here.
I'm almost positive because, like I said, there was one like 2 days ago that was brand new, and basically the person bought it to flip it, and they were like, "Just so you know, it will not come with a warranty."
Yeah, and that's interesting by itself that someone would buy that car completely without a warranty. But yeah, I'm not seeing it. And I mean, I'll show the website here because I'm on the builder website, and if you go under warranty here on the side, this is where it used to be, and I do not see it in here now.
Oh, I'm sure it's still there. They're not. If they were pumping them out at MSRP, it may have gone away, but it's still there. I guarantee you. Like even Darren was saying, what was 6 months on the Z06, 12 on the ZR1. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still there, but I'll do some research on it, see if we can talk about it next Monday.
Well, KP, they did it because they were trying to keep people from flipping them. But when you're at this price point on the ZR1s and the ZR1Xs, the people that are going to buy them don't care. They're like, all right, fine, whatever. So, and if you're not going to mod it, let's be real. What are your odds of being that guy to get one that's going to be the one that busts or breaks? I mean, it's possible, but so.
Let's see. Yeah, Professor Corvette says 22 horsepower on my 83 Cavalier would have been noticeable. Oddly enough, my very first car ever was an 89 Z24 Cavalier. I loved it.
I had a Z24 Cavalier.
Did you really? Dude, I
freaking
loved it.
Yes, I did. A yellow one.
Oh, man, my first one was gray, and then that was an 89. It had a 2.8 V6. And then I sold that and got a 92 Z24 that had the 3.1. And it was like,
that's the one.
It was the nicest car I ever owned. I loved those cars.
Yeah.
Dude. It was
I had a yellow one, and it had the red. It said the red emblem on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a yellow one.
Yeah, man, those were so nice. Like that was the first car I had ever seen.
We have the same cars.
If you had the Z24, it was the first car I'd ever seen that actually had a functional hood with a hood scoop that actually pulled air in through that hood scoop on the stock air intake and stuff. It was awesome.
Oh, and I thought it was all that, man. So fast.
Yeah,
Professor.
It's like 140 horsepower.
You know what was fast for the time too? My dad had one of those Lumina Z34s. That thing actually moved with the V6.
Well, it was the same engine. The Z34 was the 3.1. Yeah.
Yeah, but those things moved, man. I tell you. It was for the time, that is. I mean, let's be real. It's slow, but we thought we were.
dude. Back
They
then,
made a really
I
good sound
thought,
for a V6 back then too.
yeah. Oh, they
actually
sounded
did
amazing.
sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, it's even today. V6s are almost impossible to get to sound good, but the Z34
Yeah,
Lumina,
they sounded good.
the Z24 Cavalier, Z26, was it the Beretta or the Corsica? The
The
Z28,
Beretta.
the Z28 Camaro. They were all like freaking awesome cars. Like that whole Z lineup, they should have kept that stuff.
They should have. And I had a blue Z26 Beretta, the two Beretta.
Yeah,
I had one.
I tried to get a Beretta at one
speed.
point, and it wasn't going to happen. But that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, KP says I love the Z24 with the 3.1 5-speed 93 updated aero. Yep.
Yeah.
Multi-port exhaust.
Yeah, it was
I tell
freaking
you,
awesome.
It did. It sounded good every time one of those went past my house.
Good.
I could tell that it was that 3.1 engine because they used those in the Grand Prix too at one point. I could always tell that car because it had a very specific sound.
Yep. You know what was actually next level though? My buddy's mom had was it the Bonneville G whatever that had the 3.8 or whatever that was supercharged from the factory? Do you remember that one?
They put those on the later Grand Prix too.
On the later Grand Prix.
Yeah, the GXPs or whatever, GTPs, I can't remember what they call
Something like that. I can't
but
remember.
Those things were actually fast for their day. Like they were like almost 300 horsepower in a freaking Grand Prix.
Yeah, that's exactly the one I had. KP was the one with the quad 4. Yeah, the GTZ.
Vet Nye says,
I'll beat that.
Vet Nye says, do I foresee a Cavalier Weekly?
Cavalier. Oh, man, if I still had pictures and stuff, I would send them to Justin.
I do. I have one somewhere, and I'm gonna have to dig for it now. Some. Yeah.
I've got pictures of my Eagle Talon. Like I have pictures of that one, but my Chevys, I don't believe I do, man.
I'm gonna check real quick and see if I can find it because.
Yeah, KP. Yeah, that's the one. It looked like a mama car. We used to call it the ghetto sled, but it was the Pontiac Bonneville, but it had the 3.8 supercharger in it. And SSC, that's what it was. And we called it the ghetto sled, but that thing moved.
Ghetto sled. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, there's a memory of that.
I'm searching in my photos for a white car and like a bunch of my Corvette pictures with the car covered in soap when I'm washing it came out.
Oh, right.
That's funny. Oh man.
You know the other thing.
That's not it, but that's
Kevin. You bring it up too. The Thunder Ford. I know we're not for the Ford Thunderbird Super Coupes or whatever that had the supercharger too. Those were cool. What kind of Talon engineered? I had the white one, the Eagle Talon TSI all-wheel drive that had the white, they looked like the Talon wheels. They had the black top up. Oh my God, that thing was awesome. All-wheel drive. Oh man, that thing moved. It was fun.
Yeah,
we are throwback weekend.
Those back in the day, man. I wanted an Eclipse GX.
Oh, yeah.
Was it GXT? Was the all-wheel drive?
That was the
turbo. That's the one. That's the one I wanted. So
yeah, I had the TSI. Yeah, I had the TSI all-wheel drive. Yeah, wow. So
I looked on my
Professor
photos.
Corvette. I had the tape deck in the Talon with the skid row and the tape, and then the rack was in the other tape. Hell yeah, dude.
Yep. I'm gonna try to find those pictures for next Monday night because I got so many to dig through.
I'll send you mine. I'll find.
Yeah, I was gonna say find yours because I know I have at least one picture of my '89 Z24. I have a bunch of my '92 Z24s, and those two cars were like those two cars. That's literally the car that got me into cars was my '89 Z24.
Yeah,
which is
almost.
Oh
yeah, it was a great car. Great car. Yeah, I had a Grand Am that had the high output 4-cylinder too that made like for the 4-banger it made like 195 or something like that, but I wrecked that. I've got pictures of the wreck, but it's fine. I'm okay, guys.
All right, so let's talk about some constraints because this stuff gets interesting here on these constraints lately, guys. Very, very interesting what's going on here because obviously this is for May 28th, so just a couple days ago. These are the constraints. And of course, everything's got some constraints, but naturally we're still not able to get exposed carbon fiber wings for the Z06. 0% means 0% are available. So no Z07 package with exposed carbon fiber. Still, we're 3-4 model years into this thing, and you still can't get it. What is interesting to me, though, is that the ZR1 finally shows 60% supplier restriction on the 10-piston calipers. So 60% is pretty decent. I know this is not a great number. Based on the way that's worded, I'm going to say that that means only 40% will get the ZTK package. But the fact that there's any getting this is nice to see. So the ZR1 in 2027, you will be able to get some ZTK package cars. That's pretty cool. And this is an interesting one. The ZR1 Coupe is under a 50% supplier restriction. So
Crazy.
almost like they don't want to make more than 50% of these cars in a coupe versus a convertible, because the convertible and the coupe both have carbon fiber tops, so it can't be a carbon fiber thing. It's got to be some way of them making a certain percentage of each coupe and convertible. But what's underneath where things get really interesting is the ZR1X, because I just recently saw that there is no ZR1X allocations for 2027.
That's crazy.
There was zero, but this here is showing that there's, again, a coupe restriction of 50%. Again, I think that's probably to just keep it at, 50 coupe, 50 convertible. Pitch gray is up to 20%, which is interesting, I guess. It's a brand new color that they want everybody to love, and then you can't get it. And the high wing and carbon fiber, which I think it's funny that they would even put that on there, because the high wing is always carbon fiber on the ZR1 and the ZR1X, is 95%. And the high wing without carbon fiber exposed, what? That doesn't make sense. You can't get that. That's not an option. Unless it is for 27. That would be interesting. Huh. I think that's got to be a typo, because the ZR1 and ZR1X only come with carbon fiber. There is no carbon flash option. But, yeah. Yeah, so Lewis says these percentages are how many of the total allocations for the cycle will get them. So, again, if they, we'll say they put out 200 cars, 50% of those are going to be coupes, 50% are going to be convertibles. And all of the percentages are how many of those 200 will get carbon fiber, Z07 package, ZTK package, whatever it is. But it's still interesting that we're this far into the Z06 lineup and there's any restriction at all on the Z07 package. Because how have you not figured this out yet? My vote, and I was just talking to Mark about this the other day, my vote on this is that they're doing this on purpose because they want to keep Z07 and ZTK cars at a more minimal amount produced for not resale, but for value purposes. I don't believe for a second that we're 4 model years into the Z06 and they still haven't figured out how to make enough carbon fiber wings. I can't believe that. So it's got to be something they're doing on purpose. And yeah, it's T0M, not POM.
Yeah, and Wheeler says they should just announce all their C9 constraints now.
Yeah, exactly. And I bet you the thing is when the
Wheeler's
C9 finally comes out and they have they'll announce the Stingray or whatever it is that they call the base level car.
Yeah,
they're going to have
exactly.
they're going to have two levels to that car. They'll have the base and then the base Z51 or whatever they call that equivalent.
Right.
Mark my words, they will make a ton of these cars. Then whenever the Z06 comes out, they're going to have your Z06 with the Z07 package. The Z06 they're going to make a ton of, and the Z07 will consistently be on constraint for the same reason I'm saying here. I think they're doing it on purpose to keep the production numbers of those cars lower. Because if you look for a Z06, if you're out there just wanting to grab a Z06, you can literally stop at any Chevrolet dealership at this point and find a Z06 on a lot. And it is almost guaranteed it will not be a Z07. Now, there are some, don't get me wrong, there are some on the lots. But for the most part, you're going to find probably 10 to 1. 10 Z06s to 1 Z07. And I don't believe for a second that they're not doing that on purpose. That's the only way. I have to believe that, because otherwise that means they're insane. They're insane that they haven't figured out carbon fiber in 4 model years of a car.
Yep.
Professor
Well,
Corvette says,
and
Amber, chime in with a comment. So, Amber, what do you think about all this?
I don't have a comment. I'm just kind of taking it all in. What's up, David?
I love it. Hey, what's up,
I
Amber?
can't
Yeah,
hear. I don't
Lewis
have
says
my
from
earbuds
what
in.
Josh said
He said, what's up?
that the carbon fiber of the bash, that GM was satisfied with the carbon fiber that they're getting. And again, it
How
goes
could
right
you
to
be
your
satisfied
point.
with that? Yeah. Unless, of course, you're
Yeah.
doing it on purpose. Now, I will
Exactly.
tell you this. The ZR1 has been impressive because the amount of ZR1s they're churning out with the Aero package, which makes it look like a ZTK car, almost every one of them that I've seen is an Aero package car. Now, the only way you can
Right.
tell on the 26s and up if they're ZTK is if they have those 10 piston calipers, which
The 10
have,
piston.
those have been on constraint. So up until this particular round of allocations, you haven't been able to get them hardly at all. So that's how you can tell on the ZTKs for the 26s and up. But the fact that they're putting those big wings on all these cars, that's interesting. But again, that's not a ZTK car, and they're now finding a different reason to have a constraint on those cars so they can again sell less ZTKs.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing, Wheeler. It's true, right? Like he said, he had a Z07 at Spring
Yep.
Mountain, and it's hard to tell the difference in track mode in terms of stiffness to unit feel. But again, I don't know how much track experience you have. Wheeler, you may be better than I, but I don't think I would feel the difference and be able to push the car to the limit of the regular suspension in track mode, much less the ZTK.
So the official difference was, I think, 10%. Is what I've always read, that the Z07 was 10% stiffer than the Z06. Now, back in the day of the C7, it was the front, I believe, was either 18, it was almost 20%, and then the rear was 33% stiffer. So
there's a big difference.
in the C7 generation, you could 100% tell. With the C8, I've owned both a Z06 and a Z07 package car, and no, it's very difficult to tell the difference, and you would have to be pushing that car to 90+% to notice that extra 10%.
And if you look, like, to your point, Josie, like if you look historically, right? I have a C6 Z06, right? And mine was a Centennial, so therefore it got that stuff with it. But if you look for a Z07, C6 Z06, they're really hard to find. They didn't make as many of them.
Right.
Same with the C7 Z06s with the Z07 package. It's kind of the same thing. They do it intentionally, I believe.
I feel they have to.
And it's one of those things. They have to. But
because
yeah,
back,
and
back
honestly,
in the,
go ahead.
Back in the C6 day, the C6 Z06 didn't really have any carbon fiber on it. So it definitely was not a carbon fiber restriction. Now, the Z07 package car for the C6 did have carbon ceramics, but that wasn't the issue. They just made less to make less. And I bet there was some sort of complaint about that. So the C7 Z06 is the same kind of thing. If you go looking for one, the majority of them you're going to find are just Z06s, not Z07 packages. The C8's the same. They have to be doing that to intentionally build in some sort of rarity. And I don't hate that idea, but it's at the same time it's like, eh.
And it's about value. It's about that. Like, that you're going to be able, like, again, because go back and look at the C6, the C7s. Those are the cars that command the premium now. It's the C7 or the Z07 packages. And the ZTK stuff, like, unless you're, again, a hardcore track guy.
Yeah, you're never,
like if you've driven a ZR1 or an X, or if you've driven one like that doesn't have the 10 pistons and you stomp on the brakes, it'll still pull your teeth out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the brakes are insane.
I've driven both with the 10 and with the just the 6. I honestly, I mean, the one that I drove with the 10 piston, it's not like I was out there slamming on the brakes just to see how hard they stalked, but I didn't really notice a difference in the braking power. But with that said, Steven actually said when it comes to the ZR1, having ZTK is about value/resale. That's 100% in.
Exactly.
100%.
Steven's 100% right.
You could have the same C7 ZR1 that I have in identical in non-ZTK and ZTK, and the value difference is almost $100,000 difference just for having a ZTK.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, actually, it's also because it's a manual, but the majority of the reason is the ZTK. That it is 100% a resale thing, but it's not even, for me personally, it's not just a resale. I want to know I have that option on there because if for no other reason, my C7 has it, and I'd like them to, match to some degree.
It's the spec that everybody's gonna want if you are gonna resell
Yeah.
it. Steven's right. I mean, he's a really smart guy. The guy knows the business ins and outs of cars. He's a really
Yep.
smart dude. Like he knows. And like you said, you look at even if it's an automatic car, which don't command the premium prices that the manuals do for the C7 ZR1s. The ZTK cars are the ones that are still bringing in a huge premium. You can get an auto. That non-ZTK car for about what you would have paid for one. You can get them in
Yep.
low 100s now.
But the fact that that car, even in non-ZTK automatic, is still used, going for what it went for brand new in 19, that's all you need to hear. That car has lost zero value, and if anything, it's gained almost $100,000 if you get the right spec.
And it's because they 1 year they made 3,000. That's it. Like that's
so.
the biggest thing.
I wanted to mention. Professor Corvette said
Ricky, yeah,
the C6 Z06 had carbon fiber front fenders, painted body color. I did know that. I forgot about that. But the fact that it's not exposed is a big thing with GM, because they don't have to worry so much about the quality of the carbon weave. And if they're going to paint it, it doesn't really matter. So even though you are right, it did have carbon fiber fenders, and then the ZR1 had a carbon fiber hood. I don't remember ever hearing constraints with the C6 or the C7. I don't remember ever hearing any constraint issues with those cars. That word is something I swear they made up for the C8, because I never heard it before. KPS, is the ZTK non-existent? Is it a unicorn? No. They are out there. The ZR1 ZTKs.
Oh yeah, they're out there.
I've seen 26 versions of it, and with the 27s coming out, it looks like there may actually be more 27s than 26s with ZTK, but they're out there. They're rare at this point, but I think they're doing that on purpose to keep it rare. Yeah, exactly. Ricky says, I thought my eyeballs were going to pop out when I went 100% on the brakes at the end of the front straight on the NCM track. Yeah, I mean, when I was at Ron Fellows with the Z06, when you hit those brakes, at one point I'm standing on those brakes coming into that first turn, because you're accelerating down at basically a 90-degree angle turn in front of you. Right. You're on the throttle until they tell you to get off of it, and then you stand on those brakes, and it's like
it's like 130 to like 40.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like that.
Engineered incentive. Yeah, so the C6 Z06, not to get in the weeds, but yeah, it was an aluminum frame. It had a magnesium engine cradle. The engine was set back further. They shaved the glass. They did carbon fiber panels. They did carbon fiber balsa wood floor pans. Yeah, there was a lot of lightweight stuff, but yeah, it was an all aluminum body, not the steel. And then they had a magnesium engine cradle to cut weight too. It's pretty awesome.
Mr. T asked how many RS Porsches are made. I don't actually know the number, but I would guarantee you that it is pretty low, because that's the kind of car that maintains its value, and the biggest reason it does is because they don't make very many. Let's see. I'm just going to do a quick Google search. Porsche has produced roughly 22,000 GT3 RS models across 6 generations. 6 generations, they made 22,000.
Right.
Corvette makes over 22,000 in a year. Like,
right.
Wow. So let's see. For the 2023 to present, less than 5,000 units from 2023 to 2026.
And again,
that's why.
Call him the wizard or whatever you want. Steven hit it right on the head again, dude. He put GM is building supercars at mass scale with carbon fiber. No one else is doing that. No surprise they can't make enough. Boom.
Very true. Yeah.
Boom.
And the problem though with that statement is GM's not making this carbon fiber. Somebody else is. And I know the way that they work their carbon fiber prices out and stuff. The biggest reason GM's having trouble getting carbon when no one else is because they are beating the manufacturers of that carbon fiber over the head with price. There's for a side skirt that should cost $1,000, GM saying $100. I don't know if those numbers are legit, but they're severely undercutting these guys, and it's obvious with the Carbon Revolution guys having to just recently file bankruptcy for that reason. They agreed to make carbon fiber wheels for GM, and then GM beat them over the head with price to the point where they couldn't keep up with they weren't making any money basically. GM's turning out $14,000 carbon fiber wheels, but probably paying Carbon Revolution $1,000. Again, don't quote me on those numbers, but it's something like that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, there's money on the table on everything they buy. Plus when they're like, okay, we'll buy everything you make for the next 10 years or something, they command that, scaling price. So
Exactly. And what saw a comment on here. I wanted to. Yeah, Darren says lots of people were afraid of the C7 Z06/Z07 car due to the carbon ceramic rotors and the spring rates. They just weren't. They were basically uneducated. I knew from the second, just like with the C8 Z06, the second I saw the Z07, I knew immediately that's the one I want. I don't care about the spring rates. I don't care about the rest of the stuff. I like the way it looks, and it's going to be the car that performs better in the turns. That's the one I want. And again, when I saw the C8 Z06, of course, the one that they showed the most of was the Z07 package car.
Right.
Big surprise you couldn't get it for like a year after it came out. But anyway, it was the nicest looking one, and I knew right off the bat that's the one I want. Joey Cut says, let's get 100 plus thumbs ups, guys. Yeah, we got 150 in here watching, only 86 thumbs ups. Let's smash those thumbs ups, guys. We do have some more.
Yeah, somebody mentioned we should have one day we should plan a somebody mentioned, I don't remember who it was. We should plan a retro night where all the subscribers and all your members submit their old like Cavaliers or what a Fieros or any
that's a
of
good
these
idea.
things like that.
That's a good
That'd
idea.
be a fun night, I think. That would be a blast.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about, guys, is, and this kind of factors in, I think, to some degree. The Chevy has been shipping new 26 Corvettes to Michigan for quality control repairs. So they did this once before. I think it was in 2024, maybe 2023. I can't remember what year. But they were shipping the cars to Michigan for something, and I don't think we ever found out exactly what it was, but it was a very specific quality control thing. Now, with this one, we still don't know for sure what it was or what it is, but somebody posted, one new owner, still without his car, commented on a now deleted Facebook post that he was told by his dealer that it was being sent to Michigan for quality control on the brake lines. Now, when I read that, I immediately read that as brakes. Now, the reason I say that is because, again, the ZTK package car or the ZR1X comes with those new 10-piston calipers, and those are new. That's a brand new thing. So if we're going to have a quality control issue, it's probably going to be on something that's pretty new. And that would also explain why we haven't had a lot of the 10-piston calipers on the ZTK cars, the ZR1 ZTK cars. Maybe there is an issue. Or maybe it really is just a brake line problem. Either way, there is something quality control wise that is sending these cars up to Michigan to be fixed, specifically something that they can't fix at the plant, which is interesting because it must be something pretty different if just swapping the line doesn't fix it. And that's, again, this is only some of the 2026s, so some of them are still getting cranked out. So that tells me, again, it's got to be a specific option. Again, likely the 10-piston calipers.
I mean, even if it is something like brake lines, I mean, it only takes one batch that comes in that ends up on X amount of
That's
cars.
true.
Do you know what I mean? Because they
That's
come
true.
in as bad. It only takes like one batch, and they're like, got to bring them all back, check that batch. Because they come in basically, right when they're building X amount of groups. They don't keep a bunch of parts laying around. They basically come in right when they're getting ready to build these groups. So.
Unless they're the red painted intake manifolds. Do you remember whenever those things were like impossible to get?
On pallets,
yeah,
dude,
I mean, it was to the freaking
high.
ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I would do in early, late 23.
Yeah.
When they were stacked
to the ceiling. Yep.
Yeah.
Mark says, and I agree with this, he says, I must be one lucky guy to have gotten exactly what I want on my car. I'm scared to order another car. I feel like I'm pressing my luck. And the thing is like, yes.
It's rolling the dice.
You are pressing your luck because almost everybody I talked to, I think Lewis is one of them, he wanted to get another Z06 with a Z07 package. And it's like, it's impossible to get. It's impossible to order the car you want. And it doesn't make any sense that we're 4 model years into this thing and you still can't order the car the way you want it. It's just wild. Yeah, brakes, who needs them? All you got to do is just let off the gas and casually come to a stop.
That's right.
Stick your feet out the bottom like Flintstone style.
Morning rubble.
Steven says, Justin, are you doing the Mod to Fame event PA on the 20th? I have actually not heard about that. That's a great question, though.
Steven, I'll have to text you later. Are you, because I know you met Steph. I don't know. Are you going to go to that with your ex? That would be your ex.
Is it a drag strip event?
Well. It's either drag strip or airstrip. I can't remember, but yeah, it's like basically, you know, running. But I bet Steven's ex would do really well, really, really well.
Right. All right. So I just Lewis is, or somebody just said, who said that now? Yeah, Lewis says that the article says Z06s and Z01s. It does say that. That's interesting. We do have confirmation.
So like I said, it may just, if it really is brake lines, it may just be they got a batch in that, you know,
yeah,
they had
but
a quality
why
issue with, and they have to break them all.
I don't know that the brake lines would be any different from a regular Stingray. The line itself should be about the same. We do have confirmation that the recently completed Z06 and Z01 models are among those getting sent to Roush for repairs. Interesting. Making us believe that it could be related to the brake systems which share parts on these models. There must be some sort of line difference then, unless I don't know what else it could be. I can't really think of many differences in the. I guess it could include the 6-piston. Maybe the 6-piston and 10-piston are affected. Yeah, I don't know, but that's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Sean says the only thing he didn't get on his car was that he wanted was the exposed carbon fiber. I guess it just means I have to buy aftermarket. And honestly, the thing is, Sean, I got with my Z06, I got the Z07 package, but the arrow was all painted carbon flash. And to be honest, I was okay with that at first until I saw the car with some carbon fiber on it. And then I was like, nope, it all needs changed. And I'm happy that I have a Z07 car because that's what I wanted. But I'm also happy that I went aftermarket with the carbon to get rid of that brown stuff that I showed earlier. So it's kind of a win-win doing it that way. But of course, you could sell your stock carbon fiber stuff to make up at least some of the cost for what the new stuff will cost. But, it sucks you have to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, the carbon ceramic brakes might be different. That's true. The lines, I don't know if they are though. I don't see why they would be. I don't know. We'll see what it is. But either way, the fact that there's a quality control concern that literally that can't be fixed at the plant is not great.
Well, and I wanted a Z07, and since I was so early, it was on constraint. I was like, whatever. Until I went and did my delivery, and then went to the factory and saw carbon fiber cars rolling off the line. I was like, oh man, like that is so much a big difference. So, yes. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like Darren was saying, some of the other people saying, like, I don't remember on C7s where if you went to order, like you were ever like you just click every box and that was a thing. Like the only thing that was hard
I
to
tried to order a C7 Stingray the day that they came out, and I could go on the website, order it, find a dealer that could place the order for me. And at the time, this is going to sound pathetic now, but at the time they were charging $10,000 over MSRP, and I wasn't willing to pay it.
That was 2014.
It was 2014 when they first came out, but every option I wanted, I could get. And then
like
later,
right off the bat,
brand new car, to the point where they didn't even exist yet. And the C7 Z06, the same thing. When the day came that car was able to be ordered, nothing was on constraint that I can remember. I don't remember ever hearing that word for C7 Corvette.
Yeah, one of my friends did the same thing. He literally the same thing as you. He built one, had it ready to go, called and found a dealer that would put the order in, but he literally clicked every box on his Stingray, and there was nothing that was not.
Yeah, I had a deposit down on a
He still has that car too.
C7 Stingray when they first came out. I put a deposit down and everything. I had the dealer all picked out, and then he hit me with the 10K over thing, and I was like, nope, not gonna happen.
Hi, Josie.
Yeah, my buddy Vish still has his. He still kept that car. Yeah, and the other thing is crazy. Like we were talking about your car, like your 01 and like the manual and everything. Like those things were sitting in dealers forever on the showrooms. Like just sitting there, dude. Like you look back at it now and you're like, man, why did I not do that?
They were iffy because those cars in 19, everybody knew the 2020 was coming and it was going to be a mid-engine car. So no
Yeah,
one
but
knew what to
still.
expect. But like Professor Corvette said that he said no to a 2019 ZR1 at 10K over MSRP. I got mine brand new for 11K under MSRP. And now it's worth like $100,000 more than I paid for it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I said, it's just you look back on it now and you're like, man, that would have been the time because they were just
Yeah,
sitting
if I would
there.
have known then what I know now, I would have bought 2 ZR1s, drove one, and put
Well,
the other one in
and
above.
sold it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is too, like I remember our local dealer that used to be like the vet dealer around here, Maxi Price. Anyway, that you could walk in. They was just walk in and be sitting on the showroom. They had 2 of them there for months that
Yep.
you could just go in and oogle and
Mine
ogle and
was the
drool
same
over
way.
things.
It was sitting on a showroom floor and
Months.
it sat there for at least a
Months.
month before I bought it.
Yeah, months.
Dan said his friend picked up a 26 Z06 and it had a
Yeah, I
transmission
saw
issue,
that.
shifting up and down. All of this with only 125 miles on it. GM engineer verified it was an ECM problem and they're shipping him a new one. If it's just ECM, that's weird. It would be ECM doing that, but I would say if anything TCM maybe. But
Yeah.
either way, hopefully it's an easy fix for him because that would suck.
Isn't that going to Canada too, probably, right?
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah.
So the only other thing I wanted to talk about is some upcoming assembly plant closures. So in case you guys were wondering, April 27th through 5/1 they were closed, 5/4 through 5/8, and now 6/1 through 6/5. And these are probably, the 6/1 through 6/5 is probably mostly to gear up for the 2027 model year stuff. But just so you know, if you're waiting for a car to be built, these are the dates the plant's closed, so your car will not be built on that day if it was supposed to be. So
That's starting today.
yeah, it is starting today. Yep.
Yeah, they're off this week. Yep.
Yep. So in case you guys wanting to know when they're closed, that is their closed dates. And yeah, that's pretty much the news for today. But let's see if you guys we're real close to 100. Let's get to 100 thumbs ups at least before we wrap this up. So just smash that thumbs up for me. We should have a giveaway that starts next Monday night. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be something you guys are going to like. So don't miss out on that one. But in the meantime, we got 150 people watching. Smash that thumbs up. If you guys all do it, we could have 150 thumbs ups. That'd be pretty cool.
Ooh. V8 behind us told me Meekum's here this week. I'm in Tulsa for work this week. I'm gonna have to go check that out.
That'd be cool.
97.
Yeah.
97 now,
That'd be
says Amber. She added
101.
something. 101. Holy cow, that jumped quick, guys. That means you can do it. Let's keep doing it. Keep smashing the thumbs ups.
Now you've proven you can do
Yeah,
it.
you can. Yeah, I expected it to trickle up, but it went from 97 to 101 immediately.
That's hilarious.
Okay, well, I think that's really going to do it, guys. Keep smashing the thumbs up for me if you can. It really helps the channel. Go check out NCM Insurance if you haven't yet. Like I told you, put HPO 26 in there for when it asks you how you heard about us. Odds are good it's going to save you some money. Even if it doesn't, you're not going to spend any money and anything more than a couple minutes of your time trying to figure it out, and it does help the channel. And yeah,
104.
it helps everybody on the screen here. So it would be really awesome if you would do that. And stay tuned, guys. I'm going to see you at hopefully this Sunday at Criswell. If you're coming and you want a VIP spot, send me an email if you don't have one already, because
One left.
there's one left now. So send me an email. First one that sends me an email is going to get that spot, and I will let you know if you were that first person. Otherwise, I'll see you Sunday, and then we'll also see you again on Monday, because for the following day with the live video, and I'll have a giveaway for you. So
106.
smash the thumbs up, guys.
107.
Subscribe if you haven't yet. And as
What, are we
always,
auctioning something
Stay
here.
obsessed.
What's Amber auctioning?
stay obsessed. Yeah, she's auctioning thumbs ups. Stay obsessed,
Got it.
guys.
Going once, going twice. 108. Come on.
All right, we'll see you.
Later, guys.